people are generally, I've watched them put grease on their liner, and they're doing it this way.
Yeah.
With just a little dab of grease on their hand, and they're just
Yeah.
putting a little bit on there. You've got to put a lot of grease on your liner, because the grease, not only does it help taking it apart, but it also fills the gap between the liner and the casing. Because grease is non-compressible, it gets in that space, and then there's no flow. When the motor goes to equalize, you don't have a lot of flow into the space between the liner and the casing.
Right. Okay.
So the first thing we want to do is we want to test fit, and since I have this in front of me, I'm going to test fit the liner in the casing, and it fits perfect.
Oh, good.
Sometimes when you have a used casing and it wasn't cleaned very well, you'll slide it in, it'll get stuck, and that's a good point to clean it better so that it slides in. You don't want to figure that out when you're trying to assemble the motor, especially if you've got grain bonding or anything going on like that. You really want to ensure that it goes together smoothly. And so the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to put my closure on. Let's put the closure on this end. Yep, you want it on this end. I'm going to put the closure on.
That's one of the most valuable things I have in my house is that casing.
And it's in my house now.
Yeah, right.
So I'm feeling the inside of the liner here. They're okay, but I'm going to take a little piece of sandpaper. It's right there.
Red line. Red line. Okay. Yeah. Well. Okay. For the viewers, I've never had an L motor or a 75 millimeter motor. This is my first one. That's why I'm.
And they package them like candy because that's what it is. So.
It's candy. What do you mean by that? Rocket candy?
It's rocket candy. It's. Some people, as a vendor, they call you a drug pusher because you're.
I understand that part.
Whatever you want. So but they're packaged like candy because they're put together. So.
Well, yeah.
We'll take these grains out. Oh, look, it has a red line. See?
Oh, what's that? Oh, that tells you it's a red line. Well, what is it for?
Sometimes, no, you're not lining them up on this particular motor. There are motors where you have to pay attention. The offset core, moon burner, long burns, you have to line up the core. But these, no, they may have started putting red lines on to identify the propellant. They don't always do that, but maybe they're starting something new with their new venture.
What new venture?
Aerotech was purchased by Carmen.
By who?
Carmen Aerospace.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of things have changed for the better. So,
Oh, good.
Yeah. I mean, instead of one person in the front office, you have 4 or 5, which is great.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the 75 millimeter grains. What are you doing there?
I'm just inspecting them.
Eyeballing, inspecting it.
Yeah. Make sure there's no obvious issues with them. They all look fine. They probably will slide nicely into the liner. Look at that.
Does it?
Yeah. A
Little
tight. But
yeah.
that's okay. It was just that first one.
Yeah. Well, the first and last.
Yep. I'm going to take this seal disc off. Actually, I'm going to take these out first. I want to see if there was anything with that, just that one. Look, the 3 slide out easy, and that other one
is stuck in there?
Is tight. Well, it could be, I didn't wipe the inside of the liner.
Oh, okay.
And so if there was dust.
There could be something down at the end.
There could be dust, and that first one pushed all the dust to the end, so the others slid in nice. And if you look at this, you can see.
It does look like there's dust, yeah.
I didn't clean the inside of the liner before I put them in.
Okay, well that's good to know. It's the dust you were talking about.
Yeah, so that's one way to clean the inside of the liner is to push the grain.
Right, that doesn't sound like the best way though. Okay, so now this is your special dusting implement.
It's a dusting thing from Walmart.
It's a dusting thing. And
you drop it in backwards, and you can pull it right through any size liner, and you get all the dust out. And then it looks nice.
Yeah.
So now with this cleaned liner, with a clean liner and a clean grain, we should be able to just slide it easily through to the other side.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so what are we doing now? We're gonna we're gonna put the forward seal disc in, or is that what you do before you put in the grains?
We're going to test the grains that fit again.
Oh, to
because
see
that
how,
one was tight.
right.
So I want to put the grains in with their associated spacers. So now you can use these as spacers if you want a faster burning motor. No, not really. You got to use the ones that you can.
Yeah, right. Okay, now this is the part that, okay, so. Okay, so you get it up there, touching the end of the grain on the inner diameter.
Yeah, you just put another one in.
You just put another one in, and it doesn't. Does it roll in there, or does
It just
slide?
the other one just slides it.
It slides,
Uh-huh.
and it doesn't become deformed.
No. Some people do it from the end. They'll stand it up and drop them in, but then you got to use a stick to make sure they're flat. So they'll put them all the way down and then put the next one in.
Okay.
I've never had a need to do that.
Well, this looks pretty good.
Now you can see we have about a 1/2 inch, and we have plenty of room for our nozzle. There's going to be a little play. That's normal.
And then why doesn't that cause a problem?
Why would it cause a problem?
I don't know.
That's what the liner's for. The liner,
And it pressurizes it?
no,
What?
it doesn't pressurize the liner.
Okay.
It pressurizes the case. The case is sealed with the O-rings on the ends. So,
Well, how does the gas get out from the liner?
well, it
into
comes
the
out the
case?
nozzle.
Okay.
Now, the casing, if you're referring to the equalizing of the casing,
Yeah, that's what I'm referring
the
to.
casing equalizes through the forward seal disc. That's why there's a hole in the middle.
Oh, okay. That answers it.
And the whole reason that there's a smoke grain is because the smoke grain protects the forward bulkhead from the hot gases that are flowing out of the core to equalize the casing. If you didn't have this, if you just had a flat bulkhead, you'd get streaks in it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hurt it, it just looks ugly.
Yeah.
So then we've got our smoke grain that goes in here.
You can put it in either way.
Yeah,
It's symmetrical, in other words.
it's symmetrical as long as you haven't greased it. So the instructions tell you to grease one side.
Yeah.
That helps to protect the closure from getting burned when it burns all the way down.
Should we do that?
We're going to do
Yeah,
that.
okay. But you're just testing to fit right now.
Yeah, now you see this, the smoke grain just falls out. So
Yeah.
one use of the grease that you spread on here is to protect it from the heat. The other thing is it holds it in place, so when you're assembling the motor, the smoke grain doesn't fall out on you.
Right.
So
Got it.
the surface tension of the grease holds it in
Got
place.
it. Kind of glues it in there a little bit.
So everything test fit fine.
Okay.
So I'm
So
taking
why are
it
you
back
why are you
apart.
taking it out? Because we don't need to do any greasing in there.
We're going to grease the liner.
But the outside of the liner.
Correct. And why would I
But
do
we-
that with the extra weight in it?
Oh, why would you do that before you put in the grains? Because they could get greasy.
No.
No. Okay. All right.
I'm
All
not
right.
gonna get
You're
the
the
grains
expert.
greasy.
You're the expert.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to take all these grain spacer O-rings and grease them. No, we're not going to grease them. You don't grease them.
Right. Right. I
So
understand.
we're going to grease these and get this ready to go together.
Get everything all greased up, ready to go.
So, as you were saying, if we take and put the smoke grain in, I like to take a little bit of grease and get it in the well,
And you just do it on the end.
down in the well and on the walls.
Oh, on the walls too.
You can get grease all over this if you want. And then take my smoke grain, put some grease on the end, face, and load that in.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all loaded.
Yeah, so see, it shouldn't fall
Yeah.
out now.
Good job. Okay. For the viewers, we're greasing up the O-ring
Seal
on
disc.
the seal disc. Are you putting grease on the bottom of the seal disc?
On the face.
On the face of what's to protect
just
it?
just a little bit to protect it, make it
Okay.
last longer. You just want to put a glob on there because you're going to get it on the grain face.
Right.
So A little bit isn't bad. So now I need to grease these O-rings.
What do you call those? Closure O-rings?
I refer them to the sealing O-rings.
Sealing
They seal
O-rings?
it, yeah. And you see, I dressed for this.
Oh,
A
it
good
was funny.
shirt
We
on.
must have ESP because I'm just noticing the way you're dressed. And for the viewers, you also got a haircut recently.
Yes.
You were wearing your hair very long. Now you're looking very clean cut.
Okay, so I'm going to put the seal disc on the casing, on the liner,
Right.
so we can load it in the casing.
Why is it?
It's because it wants to.
There you go.
Because I push down against bubble wrap, and that doesn't.
Oh, yeah, right.
It doesn't give you a solid surface to press
Right.
against.
Okay. But that's on there properly now.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to load this into the casing as I grease it.
Oh. So it's easier to handle.
Yes. So I put a little grease on it.
All right. Let me get this because that's more than a little grease. Okay. So that's a shit ton of grease.
Yeah, a little grease on here.
I had no idea you put that much grease on.
Like I said, you want it to fill the gap.
So how many motors do you think you've built in your career?
Many thousands.
Many thousands. Okay.
That's good. We'll do the rest later. The grease will keep it from sliding as we put the grains in.
What is this I'm looking at here?
That is high temp wheel bearing grease.
That's what you use when you're constructing your motors?
Correct. We're assembling this motor, and right now we've got the liner most of the way in with the grease on it.
Yeah.
The seal disc is in place. So I'm going to push the grains in. We already did a test fit of the grains, so we know they won't push the seal disc off the other end. So we can load the grains in here one at a time. I made sure my hands were clean,
Okay.
and these O-rings are clean. So we put the O-ring in, load another grain in, push it in, give ourselves a little clearance, half an inch or so we can get the next grain in, or excuse me, spacer O-ring. Load another grain in. Final spacer O-ring. And the fourth grain. Now, there. It's all the way in, so we can take our nozzle, put our nozzle on, and I don't necessarily need to grease this too much because the rest of the grease is going to smear onto it.
Right.
And so we can just simply push that in. And then we want to be careful here because we want the O-ring in, but I don't want to drop the nozzle. So I'm just putting this on temporarily, a couple of turns, so the nozzle doesn't fall out.
Why
So
aren't you putting the O-ring on now?
Because I don't want the grains to fall out the other side.
Oh, I see. We haven't put on the forward closure yet. Got it.
Correct. So now the seal disc is here, and we've got our forward closure. And because this is a new casing, you really want to get some grease. The aft O-ring, or the aft threads are greased well, but these ones aren't. And that's why they squeal on the new ones when you try and put the closure on, is because the threads are galling against each other. They're not really galling. That would be like damaging them.
You greased that O-ring already, right?
Yes, you watch me grease both of them.
Okay, well, I'm getting older.
That's okay. This will seat the O-ring.
So yeah, you're settling that all the way, all the way down. Got it. That's beautiful.
And then we've got this extra O-ring. I don't think we need that for anything. Or it goes in
You're not
this
trying
other-
to Kato my rocket.
No. as long as you fire the motor not in your rocket, it won't KO your rocket. So now, so we don't drop the nozzle, we can pull this off and put the centering ring. Put the.
Did you already grease the threads?
The threads were greased when we put the liner in.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
And so I can tuck that into the groove along the nozzle, which makes it easier to put the closure on. There we go. You saw I had to back it up a little bit to make sure we were lined up with the threads properly.
Well, so here's the
Here's
question.
See,
I see some threads.
Yep. So it just started having resistance as I was starting
to
it
the
down.
O-ring?
To me. The O-ring's giving me resistance.
Okay, so here's the question, another question. Launches on Saturday. Terry Dancer once told me that he backs off the tightness until the day of the launch, so the O-rings don't get deformed. Would you understand what he's talking about?
That's typically in like a 29 or a 38.
Oh,
75s, the O-rings seal differently.
they do.
Yep.
Okay,
It's
so
different
you
design.
don't need to do that.
No.
So when you're building the motor, even how long will that hold? I mean, what if I can't launch that motor
For a year, it's fine.
even after you build it?
Yes.
As long as you keep it proper environmental.
Yeah, keep it out in the rain, those kind of things. Out of the rain.
You're contrarian. Yeah.
Yes. So now I've got that tightened, so it's got the same amount of distance.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to take half that distance and unscrew this
Oh, I see what
side.
you're doing.
About like
To
that.
get a little more closure on the aft end.
Well, it splits the difference between the top and bottom threads.
Right. I got it.
So, but yeah, that's kind of the easiest way to put it together. If you don't seat the O-ring on the, let me start over. On the forward section, if you do that first, a lot of times it makes it easier for that O-ring to drop into the groove where it needs to be. On the aft end, the nozzle has the groove in it. So when you drop that O-ring in, you can tuck it into that groove and put the closure on.
And I suppose if people don't really get into the groove right, that'd be a
You got to get into your rocket building groove here.
yeah, right. If you don't get it into the proper groove, you could have a complete.
It gets tough, and sometimes they'll drop the O-ring in and put the closure on without making sure it's jammed in. It's down in there, and then it'll get pinched, or it makes it difficult. That's why it's just so easy if you've done a couple of them. That's why I'm showing you.
Right. No.
How easy it can be.
Well, it helps to know the right way to do things. Okay, so what were you showing me?
Well, this is your L-1420
Yeah.
that we just built, and you can hear there's a slight rattle in there.
Yes.
That's normal, not to be concerned.
Okay.
That's why we test fit it first, so we know the grains fit a little loose. That's normal.
Okay.
Launch